So in this, I already completed the simple quiz part. I'll show you this one, and then we will complete the simple quiz in some days. Whenever when we don't have anything, we will take that and complete it. Okay, so if I go to, for example, if I go here, I can start the simple quiz, and here I will ask some questions. And once I am done with the questions, so it will give me total points, how many points I scored, and which one is correct. So this one is correct, this one is correct. It is saying which one is correct, and I click correct one because I selected no and it was correct kind of thing. I can show you how it is wrong also. I can see my past quiz also, and here you can see. Okay, let me see one of them. Okay, here one of them is wrong. Yeah, maybe this is not checked, and so this is wrong. And correct one is this one, and it is not checked. In other places we have checked one. So this is a simple quiz. I don't want to talk now on that one, but we will do that surely in some days. So let's start with the authentication, which is very important because all our projects will need this part. So wherever we work, next time when we work with authentication part, we will just grab the auth folder and we will use that one. So before I start the authentication part, I am in the library in the source folder. Inside the modules, I will create a folder called as auth. And inside auth, I will create new file called as action.js. Next, I will create a new file called as auth reducer.js. Next, I will say auth.js. And if any CSS we may require, we will put in auth.css. So these will be the folder files which I will be creating it. Okay, so now you also create a folder auth and create these 4 files. Okay. Now second step is like this. So we'll the reducer. Let's go to the reducer. So I will create a, for example, constant auth reducer equal to arrow function. So this is how we build all our reducers. This is nothing but it's same. So here I will be having the 2 variables. One is called state, one is called action. And in the state, we have some default values which will be in the object state equal to. This is where we will build our reducer. And here in the reducer, we will start with switch. action.type. So I will say switch action.type, and in the end I will return. And since this has to be used by other files, I will say export default auth reducer. And here in the action type, I will have different cases. One case will be logged in, and another case will be logged out. I will say break. Here also I will say break. So we will come back to this part again. I will not put details now. I will come back to this part again. Okay, so let's you put these things in your auth part, or maybe I will not use it, auth reducer. I will think on this. If we get some better thing, I may not use it. So just now you put this one, whichever I have put it. In the library folder, if I go open my Firebase file, there is food donation because we copied from the food donation. Let's change this to library because all things which I build in library should be inside the library. So go to myfirebase.js and change it to library. So that everything which I do it in the library should go into this folder. Okay. So now I will go to my section and I will put my import of the Firebase statement. So you can also put your import statement in the auth action. Okay. So now we will build some functions here which we will be using in the in the login part. So let's see how we did it in the food donation, and we'll try to copy the things from food donation. If I go to food donation, my action.js, so you will see we have the action Google login and we have action sign out. So this sign out part will be like this. We will not change the sign out part. So let's copy the sign out part and put it in the auth action and the auth action kind of part. So we have the action sign out. It is a main sign out, and we have the payload where we sign out from the Firebase. So we can use this part in as action sign out. Just add the action sign out. It will be for all the login part like Google login or Facebook login. Everyone have this as a common sign out part. Now I will take another one called as action Google login. Let's copy this one I will copy this and I will put in the auth action and I'll paste it here. But now I will do some changes to this one function. I will not use only this one. I will change it to different thing. So if you see, we have sign in with pop-up and we put the provider. And this provider is nothing but the Google provider. Let's see what will happen if I am doing something with the Facebook. So if I go to docs, this Firebase docs, let's go to the web part and let's go to authentication and Facebook login. Let's go to the Facebook login. So here we have the provider as Facebook auth provider. And whereas in the Google, we have seen the provider is Google auth provider. So the only difference between the Google login and the Facebook login is in the Google, we have the Google auth provider. In the Facebook, we have the Facebook auth provider. Let's see in the GitHub. In the GitHub, we have the GitHub auth provider. Rest everything will be same. So what I will do, I will create a common function. I will make this function to work it with all the different functionalities. So for example, I will change this function name to, for example, as a Firebase login. And here I will pass some type. Type will be Google or Facebook or Twitter login or GitHub login or email login, something like that. And here I will also pass as additional parameters, additional params, initial and null. I may use this or I may not use this. I don't know right now. Right now I'm creating, maybe I need to pass something. That's why I'm putting this, but let's make it additional. And if we need it, we will use it. And what I will do here, I will start with the switch statement, and here I will type. So first case will be, let's say I want Google login. So I will say Google login. Let's say user wants to do Google login and I'll do break. Second case will be, let's say user wants to do Facebook login. So I will say Facebook login and I'll do break. Then there will be Twitter login, GitHub login, email login, anonymous. So third will be Twitter login. Fourth one will be GitHub login. And fifth one will be email login, just a email, custom email and password. And last one will be, I can say, anonymous. So anonymous will be, let's see. So there is anonymous authentication. So let's make this anonymous login. So anonymous is right now, I don't want to concentrate on anonymous. Delete it now, but I will add it later on. But it will be not used because anonymous is only one-time login and we don't make one-time login. So let's think we don't have anonymous login. So let's make it default as a break. Now we will go one by one and we will see how to do it for each one. So initially, let's say I make the provider equal to null. And in every case, I will change the provider depend on the what we want. So for example, for the Google, I will say the provider is this one. So I will make you copy after I finish this function because a lot of changes will happen in this function. So I don't know what is the right now. Let's wait until I complete this one. So I'll say provider equal to Google auth provider. Okay, similarly, I will copy this everywhere, but then I will change it. The provider, I will change it. Okay, now for the Facebook, we have Facebook auth provider. For Twitter, we have Twitter auth provider. For GitHub, we have GitHub auth provider. And for the email, we have to check what is the email one. Let's see what is the email one. So it's a create user with email and password. So we don't have provider in this case. So we will handle this separately, this part. Right now I'm deleting this part. I will handle it little differently with this part. So now let's make this working, and then we will go to the email part. So we also have in the Google, we also have these two lines, add scope profile and email. So I will put that here. So we have the provider of Google, Facebook, Twitter, GitHub, and we will see how to make it email login. Okay, now if I go here, type, I will type is something which I'm getting it here. So Facebook, it will be this type. For Google, it will be this type. Twitter, it will be this type. GitHub, it will be this type. So I will get the type from the parameter, which is this one. So initially I created this switch statement, and then I'm returning it based on the type which I'm getting. So type is this type, and then we the payload, and payload is fine. So here we call with the provider, we call with the Google Auth, but we already have so for the provider we already define it here, so we don't need to do provider part here. So I'll delete the provider part here, and then we will start with Firebase auth in provider, and then everything will remain same. We don't need to change any of this part. Okay, only thing I will change here right now is I will do console.log to see if I'm reaching here. Okay, so we create a Firebase login, and if we are passing type Google, we go to this part, and then we go with this part. If we pass the type as Facebook, we go to this part. First we'll go to this part, and we'll go to this part. So for each one we define parameters here, and then we go to this part. Okay, so let's copy this function, and you copy this, and then we'll go and further and see how to use it. Okay. Now, so we have one generic function. Now we will build some individual function to know whether we are doing Google login or Facebook login. So I will create few functions. For example, I will say export constant action Google login. So when I call this function, I will pass type as a Google like this. So I will say, I will call the Firebase login. So I will say return Facebook login and I pass the type of Google login, that is this one. So when I call this function, it will go to the Firebase login, that is this one, and it will go to this case statement because I am passing Google login. Let's create few more. So let's make another Facebook login, Twitter login, GitHub login, and email login. Okay, and we will change the name of each one. First is Google one, second will be Facebook, third will be Twitter, fourth will be GitHub, fifth will be email. So let's create this functions. Just create these few functions. So if we want to call Facebook part, we will call this function. If we want to part Twitter, we will call this one, or GitHub or email. Though right now I haven't done anything about the email, I will do it soon. इधर रख दे, इधर रख दे। खोलते नहीं, खाने का चीज नहीं है। Okay, now we will make this in action and we'll see how this work really. So what I will do, I will go to the auth.js. Where is our auth.js? So in the auth.js, we will create some components and we will try to see how we can use these functions. So I will create a component in this auth.js and I will name it as auth. Okay, so I will name it as auth, and what we will do here, 1 second. Okay, so I will pass this auth here and I will put it auth here. Let's see if I am able to call this auth one. So I will go to my navigation. Okay, so I will go to my navigation and I will just import the auth. Let's see which navigation I'm using it. So if I go to app.js, we are using nav multi. So here putting it, it does not make sense. We are using nav multi. So let's go here and I will put it here. Import auth from auth/auth.js. So I'm importing auth from auth.js and I will just right now I will put it here to see whether I'm getting auth or not. I'll change the location. Here is the temporary location. I just want to see. So I'm getting auth here. Okay. So that means my auth is coming correctly. Now what I will do, I will delete the auth for now. I know it's coming here. So in my auth.js, I will build something here, which will call the Google one or whatever it is. So before I put it here, I have to see how it will really be built. So I want to really build it. So let's build it first here and then we will call there. So this is our navigation and let's create one drop down for our authentication. So I will copy this menu too. And where we have this GitHub, we have GitHub project. I will delete this GitHub project part and I will put this li tag, and here I will say user, and we have drop down. I don't need this one. I don't need this ul tag. I don't need this li. I don't need this ul. I don't need this li, and I need, okay, I don't need this all, and then I need this one, and let's see if I'm getting it correctly. I will save it, and I'm getting user and I'm getting action. That's correct. So this is the part where I will put the auth one, and I will cut it and I will use the auth here. So basically auth will come here. So where whatever we will put in the auth, it will come here. And in the auth, I will put this li tag, and I will use this li tag in the auth. Okay, so now I'll save this auth and I'll see if I'm getting it same or not. So I'm getting it same. So now we will modify this part again. So before I modify, create this auth component and put this li tag here in the auth component. Now go to your nav multi, import the auth in the nav multi, and then where you have the GitHub project link line, just delete that line and put the auth. So just search for the GitHub project, delete that line and replace it with auth. Sorry. Okay. So I was talking, but my voice was mute. So what I have to do, I have to put the connect part in the auth.js since like this we did it on our food donation. We have the connect part. So we will do same thing in our auth.js. We will call the reducer. So add this connect part in the auth.js. Then we will do, then we will call this uh, con- reducer part in our auth.js, but we will do some changes. I will say auth here and change this map dispatch to props. We will be creating different functions. So for example, I will say first function as f underscore. I can name it anything here. I will say f underscore Google, and I will call the action Google login, which is already there. Then I will create f underscore Facebook, and I will call action Facebook login. I will copy multiple times Twitter. Next will be Twitter, be GitHub, and last one will be, right now I don't want email here. Email will be tackled separately. So I don't need email. I'll just rename this to Twitter, and I'll just name it to GitHub. And this will be f underscore sign out, which will call sign out. So I created different functions here. And for the reducer part, I need to register this auth reducer in our store. So I will copy this auth reducer and I will go to the store in the library. I will go to the store and I will add the auth reducer part here. I will say auth reducer from with from it will go to the modules. Inside modules inside auth we have auth reducer. I don't need my reducer. I will delete the my reducer, and I will, instead of my reducer, I will use auth reducer. So this is the change in the store, and I will use state.auth reducer, and here I will say auth reducer. So this is a capital A and this is a small a. I don't need chat reducer here. So in the auth.js, you did already this part. Just add this part below. But before I give you this part, we need to import each function. So this each function has to be imported. So I will import Google login, Facebook login, Twitter login, tab login, and sign out. So we will import this all functions from auth actions.js. So just add first this line in the auth.js, add this line. Then add this bottom part. Okay, now now we will let's see now how it looks first. So I'm getting some error. Let's see. Auth does not found auth-action.js. So it's auth action actually. I have created auth action, so I will delete the s. Now it should work. Okay, now it's working. So you also change to action, not the actions. Now first one I will try with the Google one. Let's try with the Google one. I will go to my food donation one where I have created a Google part, and this is the one which I created for the Google login, and I will put it here in my auth.js. So I will replace this a tag with the a tag which I got it. So it's saying on H reference on click this dot Google login dot bind with the Google login. So I can directly call this function rather than calling the Google login. So I can pass E as an event, and here I can say E dot prevent default because it's a tag, and if I'm using this function and if I click this Google login, it will refresh the page. So we have to prevent the default functionality of the a tag. That's the reason I'm passing E here and I'm saying E dot prevent default, and then I'm calling this. So now instead of the Google login, I can say this dot props dot app dot Google, because all these functions are available using the props. We cannot directly use this function directly. So I can directly say this dot props dot app Google bind Google login. So then it will go to this part, and then when I click it, it will prevent the default and it will call the Google login action. So let's see if it is working or we get some error. So now if I get Google login, if I click Google login, so I'm getting the login screen, and I click my name and I'm able to log in. Though I'm not able to see it here, but I'm able to log in. So we will see how to do further things. Right now, just our aim is to call the Google login part. And we are getting this object from the Google login, which is correctly showing all the details. So just here to do this part, just change this function to this one. So change this to this part, this app Google, change it to this one. And then in the a tag, just replace a tag with this one. Okay, let's do the sign out also. So I will copy this and I'll paste it, and I will use the sign out part, which is like this. This is the sign out one. So we have to call this function sign out. So I will replace F Google with F sign out, and here I will say sign out, and here I will do same thing. I will pass e event, and I will call e dot prevent default. So just thing for sign out, I'll copy this sign out and I'll paste it here. Just copy this sign out part and then copy this a tag. Maybe you can put a whole li tag here. Okay, now we'll test the sign out also. So once I click sign out, you will see I'm calling main sign out and we're getting fulfilled. You will not be able to really see the difference because we have to add more features to make it visible whether user is sign out or not. So right now just this is working, and we are using these functions. Tomorrow we will do the Facebook, Twitter, GitHub, and email. No, this whole week we will be working on this one because it takes a lot of time in doing this email part, and this is a little bit quick. These three are quicker, but email part will take little time. So maybe this whole week we will finish this login part, and from next time, whenever we create a new project, we will use this auth, copy this auth. So we will not repeat this authentication system unless we have many new users. Otherwise, we will use this same thing again and again in all our projects. So whenever a new person will come or new student will come, we'll ask them to copy this auth. Will not repeat this again and again. This is a simple stuff. If someone wants to do this again, I will take some extra class to explain him. But otherwise, we will copy this folder and we will use it in our every project. So this is one-time work which we will do this week, and from next week we will be copying this code and pasting it in our projects. So our authentication will be for Facebook, Google, Twitter, GitHub, and email login. And user can choose whichever way he wants to log in our website. Is that clear? Okay.